Hello friends, I would like to welcome on the chapter 2 session and this is the organizational influence and the project life cycle. Myself Dilip Chaturvedi, I am a PMP certified professional and I am a trainer for this chapter 2 session. So what is the agenda for this chapter 2? What are the topic that we are going to cover? Organizational influence on the project management, project cover stakeholder and governance, project team and project life cycle. So these are the four things that we are going to cover. The first thing that we're going to start is organizational influence, and what are the things that are going to influence the the project and so organizational structure. Whatever organizational structures are there where the project is get executed, and what are the organizational communications are available which can also affect the project. So if you see this on the right hand side, there is a diagram where we have an created diagram where we can show that what type of organizational structures are available, like a projectile, strong matrix, balanced matrix, weak matrix, which is comes under the matrix organization, and then we have a function manager. Okay, so the organizational structure sets the level of authority, roles, and responsibilities, and the reporting structure within the project. Organizational structures structure into the one of six model, that is the organizational structure which will affect the project in some aspect. The project manager authority varies based on the type of organizational structure. Apart from the five models in the adjacent diagram, sixth one is the composite organizational structure. So sixth one is a composite organizational structure which we're going to take care in the coming slide. And what are the organizational communications are available? The important factor in the project success in the face of globalization is the communication. And what are the communication is available, like email, texting, messaging, social media, video, web conferencing. So these are the whatever communication model that the organization adopted, and that can also affect the project. Okay, so this is a high level diagram over, on the organization influence side, where the functional, then you have a matrix. Within a matrix we have a weak matrix, balanced matrix, strong matrix. On a matrix side, each and every what is the project manager authority, what is the resource availability, who manages the project budget, and a project manager roles and project management administrative stuff. So each and every roles differs in the different organizational structure. So we're going to cover in the next slide. Let's focus on the first thing, that is a functional manager. Okay, the functional organizational structure. So in this case, functional organizations are made up of the units or a division based on the type of business and their associated responsibilities. Such organizations are grouped by the areas of specialization within the different functional areas. So let's talk about accounting, marketing, and manufacturing. In the this can be the accounting, this can be like marketing, this can be the manufacturing. So they can have a multiple, the areas, multiple division, and within that their teams are working and delivering the responsibility. So they are reporting to the functional manager, and the added functional manager will be reporting to the chief executive. Functional manager in the sense like who belongs from the accounting, they you have a vice president, and in that you have a DCM who is of a particular department. So if the project is get executed in the organization structure, so the roles and responsibility of a project manager is less in that case. And let's show you the one of the diagram how it will be. Okay. So if you see this a functional, the project manager's authority is little or none in this case. If it is a functional organization, resource availability, that is going to provide a function, but project manager has a less authority on that. Who manages the project? This is a function manager, and the project manager rules is a part time. He will not be like a full time in that case on the functional organization, and the project management administrative staff is a part time. So if it is functional organization, so these are the the uh, project characteristic in terms of what will be the project manager role, what will the who will going to provide the resources. So these are the mostly similar like that. So okay, so the next thing that we are going to cover, that is organizational structure, and that's functional. What are the key characteristics? first thing, clear reporting hierarchy and communication channel. So it's a very clear, they are going to report to the function manager on the functional organization. Skills are specific to the staff in the department, those who are working in the accounting, those who are working in the marketing, their skills are specific in particular in their department. Project manager may be known as a project coordinator or a team lead. So if you see this, here the project manager can be known as a project coordinator. The projects and project teams are specific to the department. Their projects or project teams, they are specific to their department. Like they will be from the finance, they will be from marketing, they will be from HR. The communication between the department flows to the functional manager down to the project team. This is very important in the functional manager organization. If project it get executed, so anything that you want to communicate to the project team, which is who are involved as a, from the particular department, like a finance. So it flows from the functional manager. It's not you can directly send to the communication and let the project team do it. So it flows through the functional manager. So this is a very important. The organization structure in this case we'll going to next thing is a projectize. Projectize is in this like an organization that derive the revenue from performing a project for others. So mostly like those things, IT organization, in that case, they perform the projects for a client. So this is they are more projectized organization, and the project manager have full control of the project. And if you see this, you can have a project one and project manager is responsible for delivering his project XYZ for a client, and then you have a different project manager. So he project manager have a very the high control on the project team. So in this case, let me show you the diagram. Okay, so if you see this, the projectize, high to almost total control on the project manager have a high control on the project. And the resource availability responsibility is it's a project manager responsibility. Who manages the project budget? The project manager is responsible for managing the project budget. Project manager role is a full time here. He is a full time. He is responsible for delivery of the project. Project management administrative staff is a full time. They are a full time. So this is a projectized organization. So if you see that two organization, two different organization, and in the different projects are executed in a different way, and their roles and responsibilities are different. Okay, what are the key characteristics of the projectized organization? PM has complete or close to the complete power over the project team. So they have a full control on the project team, and has a full-time administrative staff to help to speed up the project. If they want to speed up the project, their full-time staffs are available, and PM works full-time on the project with his team, and loyalties are formed towards the project and not to the functional manager. This is a very much important. The organizational structure, then we have a third one, the matrix, and within the matrix we three things are there: P, balance, and strong matrix. So we are going to cover, if you see this, it is a mix of functional and projectized organization, and the matrix organization of the three type: weak matrix, balance matrix, and strong matrix. We are going to cover each and every slide. So let's focus on the weak matrix. On a weak matrix, structures map closely to the functional structure. This almost similar to the functional structure. What are the difference are there? Project team may come from the different department, but the project manager reports directly to the specific functional manager. Here the if you like you have a different functional manager, and here the project manager will be there. He project teams can become from the different department, like you have been executing a project where you require some of the team member from the finance, some of the team from the marketing or HR. They can they can work under the project team who belongs from the the accounting. So he can manage these staff, and but this project manager will be directly reporting to the functional manager. So here the project manager have a little roles and responsibilities, and show you the diagram. If you see this weak matrix, okay, and the project manager authority is low here. So very low. Resource availability is low here. And who manages the project budget? This is a functional manager responsible for managing the project budget. It's not a project manager. It's a functional manager responsible for managing a project budget. It's a very important. Project manager role is again part-time. Again, it's a part-time. So if you see this, almost similar to the functional structure, except here, the project manager roles and responsibility is little bit low. Okay, so balance matrix structure has a many of the same attribute as a weak matrix, but project manager has a more time and power regarding the project. So similar to the weak matrix, but project manager has a more time and the power to regarding the project. Balance matrix has a time accountability issues for all the project team members, since their function manager will want reports on their time spent on the object. So here the in balance matrix there will be some time accountability issues will be there. The reason, sometimes the function manager will want their reports that where their team members works on which object, so that we need to explain it. Okay, another thing that we are going to cover is the strong matrix. The strong matrix, many of the same attributes for the project team exist, but the project manager gains the power and time when it comes to the project work. Project team may also have a more time available for a project, even though they may came from the different department. If you see this, the project manager, who and there's a different teams are will coming from the different department, but he is responsible for delivering the project. He has a more time for delivering the project. So uh, show you the diagram. Okay, so if you see this balance matrix and the strong matrix, here the project manager roles and this one is low and moderate. Here resource availability is low and moderate. Who manages the project is the responsibility of both function manager and project manager. So it's a mix. And a project manager roles is a full time and part time. Project manager administrator, so they are part time here. Strong matrix is a moderate to high. The project manager have almost high, control on the team. Resource availability is the project manager responsibility. Who manages the project, but as the project manager manages the project. It's a strong matrix is a similar like a projectized. Project manager role is a full time here, and the project administrative staff is a full time. So this is a different, features are available on a different organizational structure. These are the characteristics are available. Okay, so we have covered in this slide also, uh, in weak matrix and balanced matrix how the things will look like. So you have a project coordinator and project leader in the weak matrix, and the balanced matrix he's a project manager. He's not a project coordinator. Strong matrix is a project manager. And here the in weak matrix the focus the split between the project and functional area, but in the balance and the project work, the project manager is responsible for on the project. Authority here, as I mentioned, minimum, balance and complete. And here the time will be part-time on the project, balance full-time on the project, again is a full-time on the project. The reports into the function manager, but here in the balance matrix function manager but says power for the project, and here the manager of the project. So this is a comparison of the matrix structure that we have covered it. The organization structure, that is the last one, that is a composite. And the composite organization special project is created that consists of the talent from the different department, and such project team directly report to the project manager and will work on the high priority project for its duration. So it's a special team, who will be created, or the team will be coming, the team members will be coming from the different departments, and the project manager responsible for executing that project. And so this is the composite, because here the, if you see this is almost like a projectized, but the team members are coming from the different functional organization, different functional division, like for example finance, and then your marketing, HR, and they are coming and they are reporting to one manager, and project manager is responsible for delivery of the project. The face-to-face relationship, how this during the project life cycle, how the project get executed and what are the relationships are there. So in the sequential relationship, if you see this one approach to clean the hazardous waste side, like you can have a one project. In one project that you want, like you want to clean up the hazardous waste site, so it is a big task, and you can break down this project, you can break down into some smaller project, and so like a facility decommissioning will become one project, because you want to first whatever the facility you have to close down, you have to remove it. For that also, you can have one project where you can do the initiation planning, where you can do the initiation planning, executing, closing. So this can be the one project. So after the facility decommissioning is done, then you have to remove those all those waste. So in that case, that you have the cleanup process, so this can become another project. And then you have a landscaping, so again here it can be one project. So this is called as a sequential relationship. If you want to execute one big project, you can divide it into small project, and one project can you can execute, then after second project can start it, then after third one can start it. So project one, project two, project three. So this is called a sequential relationship. But you can have a one overlapping relationship, that is like in the construction of a new factory. So in that case, you can have a design phase, like you want to design how this new factory look like, or so that design phase can become one small project. Like you need to think about initiation, planning. You have to plan it. You have to monitor each of these planning. Then you have to close it. Your design phase is completed. But as in between the design phase one project, you can start the construction phase at some design is done it, so you can start the construction. So this is called as overlapping relationship. So and normally nowadays, big projects, so they start with that, they some part is done, so they can start and next phase. So this is very much important. Okay, the project life cycle. So in this case, if you see this project life cycle, project life cycle is the series of phases that project passes through from its initiation to its closure. So it's a project life cycle is a series of phases from where it passes from initiation to close. So if you see this, the project life cycle, you can have one process like a feasibility, you can have analysis. You will after analysis, then you need to go for design, then after design you need to go for implementation. So this is called as a project life cycle, and all projects go through into phases, and all projects large and small have a similar life cycle structure, and the life cycle helps in determining the works to be completed in each phase of the project. So life cycle tells you in each phase what needs to be done. Like in the feasibility needs to be done it, and analysis, whatever the analysis of the project, you need to complete it, and design, you need to design it, and in the implementation you need to execute it. So this is called as a project life cycle. Okay, the cost and staffing levels in the project life cycle. So this is very much important in terms of let me show you that. Okay, so if you see this, at the initial phase your cost and staffing level is less, but as soon as things were progress after project started, then and the project manager where you need to organize and prepare this stuff here, the you require a more time, you will take it, but here the cost and staffing level increases as soon as you entered into the carrying out the project work. This graph, the cost of the project and staffing increases, and it reaches to the some level where after that, as soon as the accepted deliverable is done, so it keeps on decreasing, because when you deliver the project, so it you are in the process of closing the project. So here your cost of the project and the staffing keep on decreasing, and here at the end you reach to the project documentation, like you are reach to the closing process. So here at a different levels you will have the cost associated, and at different level your cost will increase and decrease, so during the project life cycle. So the impact of variables on the project life cycle, if you see this the diagram, you'll have a project time, and here you have a degree. Cost of changes at the initial level is less, but as soon as the times increases, project time is increases, so if cost of the changes keep on decreasing. If you want to change, if you're and something at the middle, or when your project is three-fourth is completed, so if you want to introduce the changes, so in that case it will be very difficult to do the changes here. But if you see the stakeholder influence at the starting of the project is very high, risk is very high, uncertainty, you don't know how the project look like, what is the output. But as soon as the project start progressing, so you can, this risk keep on decreasing, stakeholder influence keep on decreasing, uncertainty keep on decreasing. At this phase, at this the project, as soon as your project is delivered, or here your uncertainty has become a zero, almost zero. So in this case, you can see this diagram. One, as a project is almost completion phase, if you want to introduce any cost, this is very high. But here uncertainty become zero, almost. Project life cycle type. So there are three project life cycle types. So this is a predictive life cycle, normally is called as waterfall, and iterative and incremental life cycle. So it's more or related to the agile, some sort of that. So an adaptive is again agile, some sort of. So the project life cycle, it is a logical breakdown of what you need to do to produce the deliverable of the project. It's a logical breakdown what you need to do to produce the project. So there's a different type as explain you. So let's take one by one. Predictive life cycle. So if you see this in predictive life cycle, it by word it explains this like a predictive. You can predict it what will be the next phase. So in this case, if you see this, project definition. Okay, so you can have a project definition, you can have a feasibility study, you can have a system analysis, you can have a system design, you can have a code and build and test it. Here, the next phase will implement and review and use the maintenance. So in these, the life cycle, you can predict what will be the next life cycle. In the project definition, you can enter the feasibility. Then after the feasibility, you can enter the system analysis. After system analysis is done, you can enter the system design. After design is done, you can start building and code. You can implement a review. So, like take example, a construction project will typically manage using the project predictive approach, undergoing the life cycle of feasibility, planning, design, production, turnover, and startup. So normally this, the big project or most of the construction project or big plant project, so normally they go with the predictive life cycle. Iterative and incremental life cycle. So if you see this on diagram side, on a different iteration 0, 1, 2, and then based on the how things will get repeated. So and then here it is incremental. So in these type of project life cycle, the project phase, also called as iteration, intensely repeat one or more project activities as the project team understanding of the product increases. So as soon as the project understanding of the product, which product or project that they repeat that iteration intensely, because in one iteration they started building a one small prototype, how it looked like. They understood, and then started they started enhancing that again prototype. So there can be multiple iteration will be there. Iteration develops the project and product through the series of repeated cycle, while increments successfully add to the functionality of the product. So if you try to understand on iteration, develop the product through series of repeated cycle. On every repeated cycle, they try to develop something. But incremental, successfully add it. You add something new functionality. Like you have one project, you added one functionality in form, you have some functionality of submit button. Yes, I'm taking one example of that. So you added that one, and now you want to add one more functionality to send a mail. So that can be like an incremental. You added one functionality, you want to add a next functionality in the next incremental. So this is how the incremental. But an iterative cycle, it keeps on iterating the particular work. So and sometimes they repeat the old work also to improve the existing functionality. The future iteration may enhance the earlier deliverable or may create new ones. So Incremental delivers the complete and usable portion of a product or each iteration. With iterative, the complete concept is built in the successive levels of detail to create the end result. Often large and complex projects are executed into the iterative fashion to reduce the risk by allowing a project team to incorporate the feedback and less learn between the iteration. So you see the diagram on this is on iteration side, this is on a what you can say incremental. So on the requirement side you can have a multiple requirement. On a first level build you design it, code it and install it. So one increment. Then you can have a design code. This is another increment, means you want to add a new functionality into that. Then new functionality you want to add it, again go and design code and test. So and again go for install and accept and support. So this will become an increment. Okay, so adaptive life cycle. So adaptive life cycle is more known as an agile methodology. They intend to respond to high level of change and ongoing stakeholder involvement, and they are also iterative and incremental. So within that there can be also iterative and incremental, but difference here is that iteration are rapid, that is 2 to 4 weeks, and fixed in the time and cost. So it is they are rapid and they are fixed in time cost. Within this time you need to finish it, and this is a cost involved for that. Product backlog. Here the overall project scope is decomposed into the set of requirements and the work to be performed. So you have a overall project scope is decomposed into the set of user stories and set of requirement and work to be performed according to that. Adaptive method is preferred when requirements and scopes are difficult to define in advance, or when project is dealing with the rapidly changing environment, or when it is possible to define small incremental improvements that will deliver the value to the stakeholder. So it is sometimes the requirement scopes are very difficult to define in advance. So in that case, some you can think about the going for agile, and sometime in these one is very useful in terms of where the your things are changing very rapidly. One requirement you came with there and something you in the next few days customer think about they want to add this thing and they want to change it. So in that case agile works very well. So if you see the on right side diagram, the business improvement, this is the planning side and this is strategic business and technological value. You can define the problem, what problem is there, and for that what project you want to execute, what output solution will be there, and how much, and you need to define the solution and create a micro design. You created one micro design to process further, and then you started building that, the particular design. You build a solution and then you deploy it and you access it. When you uh, assess those solution, then you thought about, okay, you can enhance it or you can add some more functionality, you can do changes in that, so that become another design. So again you can create a micro design, build solution and deploy and access access both solution. Okay, so this is the that we have covered as a part of the organization influence on the project life cycle. So these four topics we have covered and as part of the chapter 2 session. And I would like to thank you, all of you, for listening this training session. And if you have any doubt, you can reach me at info@justpmp.com. You can visit, or for latest training videos, blog, and PMP free PMP notes, you can download from the www.justpmp.com. And most important, you can register for the free mock online test. You'll get a 2 mock online test, and this is absolutely free. So you can register for that. Thank you very much.